hey, 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 hey.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brad Kamikaze Franklin. I wanted to fill you guys in and update you on what's happening. I know you guys watched the last video where we were announcing the 1,000-man march. That march is taking place on Saturday, September the 20th. We're going to be gathering at 440 North Mill Street, and we are calling for 1,000 black men to join us in this march. We're going to be marching to the state capitol, ground zero for the majority of the problems that ail the black community in the state of Mississippi, the state capitol.
10-9-8-7-6-5-4-3-2-1. Community Conversations. Community Connections Conversations. Okay. All right. Hey, well, let's get it started. Miss Tripp, would you be so kind as to read the focus so we can jump on in here and get really busy with it?
Sure. Let's see if I can. Okay. So the focus is knowing community now. People, persons. ... I don't have my glasses on.
Individuals, events, opportunity, skill building, self-care, self-help.
Wait a minute. I want to make sure that everybody knows I can read.
I don't think they're going to challenge you on your read.
I want to make sure.
I don't believe they're going to challenge you on your read.
We're not spraying chickens anymore. So
okay, go right ahead.
I think they completely understand.
Organizations, agencies, city government, county government, state government, businesses, church, school, university, municipality, community, and family.
All right. Purpose, connect, inform, engage, empower, network, relationships, educate, inspire, stimulate through sharing and conversation, reflecting genuine concern, love for community, emphasizing joy, fun experiences, living life on life terms, life be lifing. Brother Kamikaze, what is life be lifing?
Hey, man, if you live long enough, you'll know what that means.
Okay.
That's basically what I say. If you live long enough, you'll know what life be lifing means.
Okay.
It's just getting up every day and living. That's life, and it's going to life on you.
No shaming, no blaming, judgmental free zone, energy, passion, compassion, empathy, sympathy, failure, successes, lift, and steadfastness. Get up off the couch and do some work. Do something.
Yeah.
Besides sitting around pointing your finger and waiting on somebody to come and save you. Brother Kamikaze, what I want to do is play something that I took a snippet off of and then let you reflect on it for us.
Let's do that.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brad Kamikaze Franklin. I wanted to fill you guys in and update you on what's happening. I know you guys watched the last video where we were announcing the 1,000-man march. That march is taking place on Saturday, September the 20th. We're going to be gathering at 440 North Mill Street, and we are calling for 1,000 black men to join us in this march. We're going to be marching to the state capitol, ground zero for the majority of the problems that ail the black community in the state of Mississippi, the state capitol. This is going to be a show of solidarity. This is going to be...
What are some of the issues that ail the black community? Are we talking about the children? Are we talking about families? Are we talking about the men?
This march really, comes from, an epiphany that I had with myself that, we are in times right now where it is incumbent and paramount on us to be in unison, to show solidarity to the rest of the world. One of the reasons why black folk are in the situation that we're in now, and we seem to be just at the mercy of what's happening right now with the person that's in office in D.C., and how we seem to be at the mercy of the person that is in the governor's office, is because we have no unity and we have no solidarity. We have a lot of people who are doing good work, yourself included, that are working in silos, that don't know each other, that don't work together, that are all doing great work, whether it be service to the community, whether it be mentoring, whether it be on the political end, whether it be on the business and economic development end. We got a lot of black men who are doing some fantastic things in the community, and this is a means to help bring all of us together with a show of force and a show of solidarity to let people know that, you know, we want to stand up and we're tired of what's happening around us and tired of what's happening in our communities and tired of what's happening to us and what's being put up on us from the president's office, from the governor's office. You know, we're sick of it, and we're going to start standing up now, and we're going to start doing some things in our community to help change that paradigm. So that's kind of where I came up with the idea for us to get together and have this march on September 20th. I know how people feel about marches. Let me just say that right off the bat. I know there's a lot of people that, you know, are tired of the marching. They call it an old civil rights tactic. A lot of people say that marching is performative. It's just something that people do. They say it's just one event that doesn't have any follow-up to it. They say it's really an old tactic that black folk need to get out of. But when you really kind of look at it right now, I think for us to get to where we need to get to as black folk, we need to go back and reset ourselves. We need to reset. And by resetting, we need to go back to some of those old ways that worked for our grandparents and that worked for our great-grandparents who were freedom fighting for us here on this soil, here in Mississippi. And I think we need to show folks that we can organize and that we can plan and that we can put things into place to work for our communities, because that's where we have lacked. I think that's where black folks have lacked. I think that's where we have lacked to combat what's happening against us right now. White folks plan. The Republicans plan years in advance. They put their plans, they put their schemes in place, they make sure that they put the right people in place. And we've got to learn to be proactive, and we've got to learn to start planning along the same lines. And that's what we're doing to go part and parcel with the march. It's not just the march. The march is just the first shot. There's a lot more that's coming behind it that we have been planning for months, and we're going to institute it, and we're going to put it into effect in the community, and people are going to be able to see these things.
Powerful. So there's going to be some follow through.
Yes, there's absolutely some follow through. So if you one of those people who have said, you know, I don't like marching, I don't want to march, marching is no good. This is not just a march. It's not just a one-off thing. It's basically a statement to say, hey, we're here, we are aware, we are getting unified, we are getting to know each other. We're not going to work in silos anymore. We're going to work together, and you're going to see the fruits of our labor. Without us even having to tell you, you're going to see the work that we're putting in.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Sign me up, sir. Sign me up.
Yes.
Ms. Tripp,
We
I know
need
you
to have
got
you
something
there.
you want to chime in on.
Yeah, I want to just talk about something that you mentioned, working in silos. What do you think has been some of the driving factors that cause so many people to work in silos?
Ooh-wee.
Ego. Ego was one of the reasons. Ignorance to folks that are working and doing the things that they're doing. A lot of times people are duplicating services in the city. And then outside of that, there is just the effort and just flat out laziness to kind of be aware of what's around you. So if you get a combination of those things, you get a combination of ego and ignorance and laziness, that's like a Molotov cocktail for failure.
Right.
So all of those things together, I think, work into it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, so how do you get past the ego? Because I agree with you. A lot of it is ego. So how do you get past it? Because even in organizing, even in community work, there's been a lot of cliques involved with it.
Yes.
So, of course, that causes the unity. So what is it that we can do? Or what do you think is a strategy to bypass that component? Because it's still going to be there, right? So what is it that we can do to mobilize and move forward with an understanding of pushing ego to the side?
I always say the first thing is conversation rules the nation. That's one thing that I always say. So as men, and I'm just speaking particularly for black men right now, and of course this march is open to our sisters as well, and open to anybody else that wants to march. We definitely, absolutely, there's been no movement that has worked in this nation for black folk that did not have women prominently involved in it. I don't believe in any shape, form, or fashion in the, you know, the men have to do this and the women have to be in the support role. I absolutely believe for us to achieve what we need to achieve, that we need to have women involved. So we definitely want women to join us. But when it comes to, you know, ego in this activist space, you know, these are conversations that have to take place. I think everybody agrees with the sentiment that we have a greater enemy that all need to be combining against right now. And I think that enemy has proven themselves to be so great. I think everybody now understands that we're going to have to take down that veil of ego,
Right.
and we're going to have to work together, because if we don't, we are going to perish separately. That is just the end of it. We're going to perish if we do not work together. So we're at a point right now where it's in dire straits.
Right.
Where now when we're having these conversations, like, we all understand what we are up against now. And if we don't fight, it's kind of like, for people that watch the movie The Avengers Endgame,
Right.
you know, we are up against Thanos. So it's going to take heroes from every universe to come together to fight this universal threat that exists. That is the devil that's in the White House. That is the devil that's in the governor's mansion. There is a threat there that we all need to come together to fix. And I think that's going to be the one thing. And really at the end of that too, Felicia, is that if your ego does not allow you to come to the table, or if you don't want to come to the table and you don't want to be part of it, there's some people that are going to be left behind.
So how do you deal with this? Outside of ego, there are going to be those that tote the water of those that want to inflict this harm.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be sent to the table. They're going to be sent there. They have no ego. They just simply have a desire to be accepted by
white folks.
Well, yeah, by whoever they see in power.
Yeah.
The power structure as it exists currently,
Yeah.
at the expense of the collective of those that may look like them.
Yeah.
So when we use the word unity, there are those that recognize that people who look, our skin folk ain't kinfolk, right?
Correct.
So there are those that look like us that indeed will be the enemy within.
Yes.
How do we acknowledge it and keep it moving? Because this whole thing about, okay, we're going to handle that behind closed doors. No, we're not. They're not going to come behind the closed doors. So, and we are in the age of social media. So what's the balance with it?
You know, that's a very good question, because in the conversations that we were having about this movement, about this march, you know, I've had conversations with my mentors about, you know, how much information that we're going to disseminate and who's going to be in the room and who's going to be at the table. And it's very difficult because you want black men to be involved.
Right.
And you hope that everybody that you're bringing to the table and that you're making privy to what the plans are, you hope that they have the best interests of the collective in mind.
Right.
You never know 100% what you have there. Now, we do know, of course, you know, that this is the age of black individualism. Black folk, you know, now have decided that I'm going to be excellent on my own and I'm going to be excellent individually. And if I achieve a certain level of success, then that's fine. But, you know, we all understand that that black excellence that we see does not equal black liberation. So with black excellence not equaling black liberation, we know that there are some people that are going to use this as a stepping stone and a platform for their own personal and individual gain. And you really can't stop that a lot of times. You can just identify it as fast as you can. You can kind of move away from it. But I would hope that, you know, the people that we have talked to and the people that we have assembled to put this together, you know, was a good group of people that I trust. And we're going to welcome black men with open arms and black women with open arms to this march. And when these plans start taking effect in our community and people start seeing the results of what's happening, I think people will begin to fall off where they need to fall off. And I think it will be fleshed out like it needs to be fleshed out. I've always had the belief that things, you know, things evolve and move and change as they should in God's will. So I believe that the people who are not supposed to be here will eventually fall off. And the people who are supposed to be here will be here. There's going to be some growing pains in it. It always is when you're trying to put this many people together and you're trying to do something for a collective. It's going to always happen. And I can't be afraid of that, because if I was afraid of that, then I would have just took this idea and I would have suppressed it. Right. But when I got this idea, I said, even despite all of the negative comments that I got, even despite all of the discouragement that I got, even the discouragement that I gave myself in thinking about it, I pushed through it and said that this needs to happen, regardless. So, you know, we've gotten a lot of support, but at the same time, you know, we've got some people that said, you guys are marching doesn't do any good. Marching's not going to do this. Marching's not going to do that. You need to be doing this. Everybody's got an idea. Right. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody's got a suggestion, but nobody's acting. We got a lot of people in our community that do a lot of suggestion. They got a lot of suggesting. They've got a lot of ideas. They got a lot of criticisms. They can tell you how everything that you're doing is wrong and how you should do X, Y, Z, but yet they've never done it. And they've never accomplished it, and they've never finished anything. And those are the people that you get most of the criticism from. And those are the people that were probably never going to show up in the first place. So I'm not really worried about that. You know
are they invited? Once we get this movement, this train moving,
yeah.
Are they invited? Are they allowed to come later on?
They are allowed to come, or they're gonna get rolled over. One of the two. And you know, the mentors of mine and the people that I trust that I've talked to have said that it's very necessary that we don't publicly put this point by point plan that we have constructed, that we put it out to the rest of the world. My first thought process is when we had this march and we go to the Capitol and we had a rally on the Capitol. We're going to outline this plan for the world and tell them what it is that we're going to do. But we're not going to do that now because the enemy is going to be sitting there and they're going to be waiting and they're going to try to dissect it and they're going to try to head it off and block it at every pass. So now we're just going to implement it and we're going to put it in the community and we're going to let them see the fruits of our labor. From the service piece, from a mentoring piece, from a political piece, from an economic development piece, we have a plan that hits on all four of those points that are going to be post-March action items that we've been working on for the past 3.5, 4 months. Mm-hmm. And we're going to put those things in effect after the march. But the march is going to be the statement to say that Black men are standing up and taking charge, and we're going to lead in the city of Jackson, not just against, you know, white folks, not just against the racists, not just against the people at the Capitol, not just against Tate Reeves and Shad White and Trey Lamar and Donald Trump, not just against those people, but we're going to take our streets back as well. We're telling the streets that you cannot have our young Black men. You can't have them. So we're going to take care of them as well. So this plan encompasses a lot of stuff. We're just not here to point our finger at those people that we know that are looking to oppress us. We're going to be pointing the finger at each of us to be accountable and responsible for the young Black men that we have out in the streets as well. So, you know, there's a lot of this that we're putting together. So, again, September 20th, we're asking everybody to come out 10:30. We are assembling at 440 North Mill Street, 440 Jackson in the parking lot, and we are marching to the Capitol. And we want everybody that's listening to me right now and everybody that sees the promotion, we want you to join us. It's going to be an amazing day, and the energy that we leave out of there with that day, I think, is going to continue on and have a ripple effect through the whole city.
Kamikaze, what's the difference between unity and solidarity? Unity and solidarity.
I think for me, you know, a lot of people would say that those are synonyms and they're equal things. For me, unity is just the act of, you know, being one and coming together. Solidarity for me is when you're actually working as one body. That's my personal definition. That might not be
one sound.
Yes, one band, one sound. That's solidarity. Unity is going to be the act of us coming together in that parking lot, getting ready to march to the Capitol. Solidarity is going to be once we get to the Capitol and what we do after we leave the Capitol, if that makes sense.
Say that again. When we get together, we're getting together now in the parking lot. What phase?
That's the unity phase.
We got to know what we're doing.
Yes, and then when we walk
what
to
it
the
looks
Capitol,
like.
Once we get to the Capitol, that's where the solidarity phase begins because that's when the work begins.
Wow.
After it's over with. So that's my definition. People might have different definitions of unity and solidarity, but, you know, they are, to me, two different phases of working towards the same thing.
And the action is after the event
and the action
concludes.
is after the event. Yes.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Tripp. Hit us in the head with something.
Let me ask you a question. What is your thought and what do you say when people say Black people can't be racist or that a Black person is racist who speaks as you do?
So let me tell you this right here. Mm-hmm. The Republicans and conservatives and right-wing folks and racists, I will give them credit for messaging. I will give them credit for marketing. I will give them credit for branding because they stay on topic, they stay on message, and they stay on brand. So now what white folks do now, because they don't have any other recourse and they don't have any other means, is now they're being told all across the board that if you run into a Black person and a Black person states that this is happening to you, or a Black person points out that something is racist, or if a Black person points out a disparity or an inequity that exists, or if a Black person just simply stands up for themselves, they're being racist. So now it's like a I know you are, but what am I type thing, like they're children.
Right.
Again, and these people are sociopaths, so you can't really pay them a whole lot of mind, but they turn around and they call you racist because they're racist. And they try to use the term and turn it around on you, and they've done a good job. It's the same thing that they've done with the word woke. It's the same thing that they've done with a lot of words that we have created. They have taken the words and co-opted them. We created the term black fatigue. We created that term.
Right.
They took that term and they flipped it and they made it into something negative again. They're thieves. Again, sociopaths, they're thieves. They're incorrigible people. They're terrible people. So I don't really pay much attention to that because everyone knows that by definition, black people cannot be racist. We have said this to people for decades.
I don't know that everybody knows that. I hear black people who say someone else is racist.
Well, that's because they don't know the definition. That's because they are latching on to what's popular now. Black people do not have the institutional and systemic power to stop white people from doing anything. Racism is about institutions. It's about systems. Okay, that's what racism is about. Black people can be biased.
Yes.
We can be bigoted.
Yes.
We can even discriminate against a white person in a particular instance, but we do not have the systemic and the institutional power to stop white people from doing anything. Racism is about systems that are built, institutions that are built. When white people are uncomfortable, they go to the state house, they go to their capital, they get in rooms and they make laws and they make all kinds of new, amendments, laws. They change things and work it in their favor. The same way that they're gerrymandering in Texas right now. When white people are comfortable, this country bends and twists and turns to the comfort level of white people. When white people get uncomfortable with something, they're going to make a law. They're going to change a law.
Yes.
They're going to do something that's going to change the institution or the system that exists because they have the ability to be able to do that. Black people are not able to stop white people from doing that under any circumstances at all whatsoever. We don't have any institution that exists right now that we are able to stop white people from being a part of or participating in or being in. Even if we're talking about HBCUs, even if we're talking about any of the things that were created because we were not allowed into their schools, we were not allowed into their neighborhoods. And then when we turn around and do it for ourselves, of course, we end up having to allow them to come into those schools and those universities and those organizations in the same way. So no, black people cannot be racist. We can be bigoted. We can be biased. We cannot like white people, but we can't be racist. We don't have the power to be racist. So when I hear it and you say it back to me, that means that I have beaten you in this argument because you can't prove to me that anything that I said is wrong. You're just saying that I'm racist. And it's the most ridiculous thing that I've ever heard. Like, again, it's laughable. These folks, it's hilarious. They're clownish in the way that they do things. I really
powerful with marketing, like you said,
They're their own brand. Their own brand. And it's like from the top to the bottom, it's like they send out a memo. I don't know what they're doing, but I know that we are beginning to do it on our end, and that's what we're doing with this movement. We're going to brand and we're going to market and we're going to be on topic and we're going to be on message, and it's going to work at the end of the day. And I'm telling you, it's going to work, and it's going to work and begin to spread out on a national level the way that they've done. They've taken words and phrases that we've used and turned them against us.
Yes.
And they use it against us and they weaponize it against us. And that's because we're not being proactive on our end. White folks are proactive because, of course, equality to them looks like oppression. And because equality looks like oppression to them, they get scared anytime that they see anything that's going to be equitable between black people and white people, or minorities and white people in this country. Anytime they see equity happening, anytime they see equality happening, they get offended by it because they are offended by equity, because that looks like oppression to them, because they have been used to a level of privilege for so long that they can't understand having to share a world with other people. And these are just simple concepts, just simple things.
So you use two more words that I hear used interchangeably quite often, and that is equity and equality. Give us the difference with that.
So I use this visual that I have. You have black kids at a fence watching a baseball game from behind the fence. And on that fence there, in order for them to be able to see over the fence, you have to give them some little steps for them to be able to step on.
Mm-hmm.
Equality is when you fix those steps so that we can all see over that fence. Equity is when the shortest person that is on that fence, when you fix their step to the point of where it's high enough to where that person can actually be on eye level with everyone else, that's equity. Equality is just the act of us being equal across the board, but equity is the act of making sure that we have been repaired and made whole for what has been taken from us. And equity, for some people, that might be reparations. For some people, it might look like something else for other people. You know, I'm not one of these folks that are just out here talking about reparations every day, because I don't feel like that's something that this country is going to ever do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really, have that many discussions about it. We can have it, and that's cool, and a lot of people think that. But equity is about repairing what has been taken from us and repairing what we have lost, repairing the fact that, if there's a race, black folks are starting 10, 12, 15 yards behind where white people start in life. And these are things that you see every day. It is happening. And I hate when people try to say that that doesn't exist and America isn't this and Mississippi isn't that. We're tired of showing you studies. We are tired of telling you this over and over again. We're tired of showing you that the playing field is not level. We're tired of telling you this. Now it is at a point now where you're insulting our intelligence by telling us anything else than that. So, like I said, it's time out for us to do all of this talking and trying to debate back and forth. The kumbaya world that I think a lot of people are hoping exists does not exist now, and it will not exist until we exert ourselves enough to where, we are in a place where we can take care of what we need to take care and get our community back to where it needs to get to, because nobody else is looking to assist us in that endeavor at all. And you see it every day. They're not interested in helping us fix crime in our communities. They're not looking to help us fix homelessness in our communities. They're not looking to help us fix poverty. They're not looking to help us fix our public education system. None of those things are helping to fix. They're giving us little stopgaps and little Band-Aids, and we give you a little money here and there to actually fix those things. But if they actually fix those things, then they know that there's a problem. Then at that point, if they actually fix those things, if they actually fix our communities, if things are actually on a level playing field, that's something that they don't want.
How can you poverty pimp if there's no poverty?
So what now?
How can you poverty pimp if there's no poverty?
You can't poverty pimp. I tell you, it's crazy because, there's this thing now, again, by them being on message and on topic. So now there's this thing now where the Republicans are saying that Democrats like crime. Democrats love crime because, we were up in arms about, this dictator in the White House sending troops to D.C. So now you look on all of the Republican and right-wing, shows, you look on Fox News, you look on Hannity, everybody's saying the Democrats love crime and they hate the police. Right. No, Democrats do not love crime. Democrats do not hate the police. Black people do not love crime. They're trying to create this narrative that black people love crime and that we embrace crime and we embrace criminals. And that's their talking point now, which is the most ridiculous thing in the world, of course.
Well, I think even more than that, what they're trying to do is make the word Democrat synonymous with black, first of all.
Yes.
And that caused that particular hatred. But I think that it is absolutely evident that anyone who can take rights and privileges that have existed for those who work in public service like law enforcement and make a policy that actually changes things that they will receive, because we know this is not one of those jobs where it's the highest paying job.
Correct.
So to increase the amount of years that you have to be within the PERS system just in Mississippi to be vested. So you can work, you think I'm going to go work and be a police for what, 40 years or something?
Yeah.
So that I can retire or, like this is something where if you walk outside, there's a likelihood of you stopping a car and being shot just because you stopped the wrong car. Simple things like that, not necessarily targeted because you're police, but
Right.
people are creating laws that, again, are against your quality of life, or you being able to live a decent life
Yeah.
without being a stick-up boy with a badge on your chest.
Yep.
But then they turn around and say the other side, who tried to create the policies that would ease you, they are indeed your enemy.
Correct. Correct.
So,
So, I mean, again, they're not really actually trying to find solutions to end these things. They're
Right.
just trying to continue to oppress the people who are living in these conditions. Again, I was watching Morning Joe. They had the mayor of Chicago on Morning Joe the other day, and he kept asking him, and Otha Kane posted this on his page, they kept asking the mayor of Chicago, would you accept 5,000 more police
I saw
officers
that.
in your city? He kept asking him that over and over and over again, getting him
Right.
to say yes or no.
Right.
And the mayor was trying to explain to him, you know, why I'm not going to answer yes or no to that question.
right.
White people are trying to paint this picture that black people, you know, again, are lawless, we like crime, and that we like criminals. No, we have been telling you all along that you cannot police yourself out of a crime problem, first of all. You can't police yourself out of a crime problem. That's A. B, you think, and white people think, that the solution to every problem in all these cities is for them to just throw police officers. Because white people like to see police officers. That makes them feel comfort. Again, I said previously, you know, this world bends to the comfort level of white folks. White folks believe that police officers and more police and more law enforcement and more troops, they think that that's the issue. The mayor of Chicago was trying to tell this man that no, policing is not what our problem is. We have problems within this community with poverty, with kids not eating, with public education, with conflict resolution, with mental health issues, with health issues, all of these other things that exist in our communities where we've had these kids tell us the reasons why they are committing these crimes and they're involved in these crimes. And we're telling you that these are the things that you need to be putting money into, but you continue to keep trying to send us police officers. And you keep trying to send us police officers in Chicago, which has been documented as one of the most corrupt police departments that exist in the nation. You want to send us 5,000 more police officers because you just want to see black kids slammed up against the car doors. You want to see them slammed up against the ground. You want to see billy clubs against their heads. You want to see doors kicked in, because that is the kind of thing that gives white people comfort. They love to see black people put up on by the police. White people are not treated by the police like black people are. They don't deal with the conditions in the neighborhoods that we deal with, in the same thing. And we have been telling them again, over and over again, we've been telling them that you cannot police us out of this crime problem. We are hungry. I am poor. I have a mental illness. I have drug abuse in my family. This is happening at my school. We are telling you things that are happening that are precursors to crime for you to be proactive. And you are saying, no, we want to just send more police because we want to see more black people beat up in the street by law enforcement. It's ridiculous.
I'll say this. I think that the mayor didn't answer the question because A, they were just going to take a quick soundbite due to a quick yes or no.
Exactly.
And B, why should I answer your question? Why should I answer it if you're not asking me the right question as it pertains to the conversation in the first place? So I say kudos to him for having enough intellect and awareness to know that, hey, you're not even asking me the right question for the conversation that we're having.
Right.
But I will also say this. I'm sorry, Howard.
Go ahead, Donald. You rolling.
Yeah, I will also say this. A lot of black people want to see more police also because crime is based on proximity.
Mm-hmm.
We continually say it's based on proximity, and we know that poverty is a link to this. Mm-hmm. However, people want some relief, and what most people who are experiencing crime head on know, especially where we live, is that somebody who looks like me is the one who's shooting this gun at night.
Absolutely.
When these bullets are coming through houses, which that's actually happening. That's not a scare tactic. That's actually happening.
Yeah.
And we know that the majority of the murders that are happening in close proximity to us in these communities are indeed happening by somebody that looks like us.
And that's in every community, because white people on average are killed more by other white people. You kill people who are close to you.
And people live by who looks like them. That's why I said it's based on proximity.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
So with that being said, based on my blackness and my black proximity, I feel like I'm being terrorized at times, and this is not Felicia saying it, but I'm just saying for people who
No,
do.
there are people
So
that are
there
saying
are
that,
people
yes.
who are absolutely in agreement with more police because people want to feel some solution. How do we do these things simultaneously? Because I think that the conversation continues to be this or that. People are saying, yeah, we don't need more police. We need these services. But while you wait on the service to kick in, I'm experiencing this particular crime that's happening.
I'll give you a response to that. Now, when you're talking about Jackson, Mississippi, we already know the Maple Linder study that was done during Tony Arbor's administration, you know, and Harvey Johnson's administration. The Maple Linder study showed that Jackson needs about 650 police officers for a city this size. And at any given point here within the last, 5 to 10 years, we've had, 150, 100. We dropped down to 100, I think, at one point. It might have been a point where we dropped down under 100 police officers. So a city of this size, we need 600 people, 600 police officers to be able to police a city of this size. You just talked about what just happened in the legislature, which, again, I tell people all the time, a lot of our problems exist at that Capitol. The legislature just took away any incentive that a lot of police officers would have to even do this job. Police officers and, firefighters. It took away a lot of incentive they have to even do this job because they're taking away their retirement. You want me to work and work these very dangerous jobs and work all of these years and not get a return on, what I've been doing? So now you're going to have less and less people who want to be police officers. The salary here in the municipal area is already below what they can get in other areas. Capitol Police pays more than JPD does. So when you talk about that, when you talk about a city that is understaffed police-wise, Jackson, Mississippi is it. So for those people that are being terrorized, yes, we need more police officers on the street. We need a coalition. We need a partnership. We need a collaboration between these law enforcement entities to get us to the actual number that we should have. When we get to the actual number that we should have at that point, there needs to be a combination of law enforcement and there needs to be a combination of the proactive measures that exist at the same time. There needs to be something that works part and parcel, not just heavy-handed policing, but you got to do policing and you need to do these proactive measures. Because again, when you talk to these kids and they tell you, and a lot of people don't even talk to these kids, so they don't know. When you talk to them, they tell you, this is why I did what I did. This is why what happened. This is why I had beef with that person. And they're telling you this every day. And it's like people are just letting it go in one ear and they go out the other. And they're telling you the reasons why they're committing the crimes that they are. And there's nothing, no services, nothing that's available to help those kids that are in those particular issues. Kids out here are hungry. They're not eating. So social media age, they want money. They want to have the things that they see on there. When they don't have money, they're getting picked on and laughed at by their peers. They're trying to figure out how to get money in their pocket. Some kids are going to school every day, and that's the best meal that they're going to get in the entire day is the lunch that they get at school. It might be the only meal that they get at school, and they're going home. You got kids who are homeless who are going to school in JPS every day. They have a homeless contingent that goes to JPS. There's some kids that go to those schools every day that are going back to homeless shelters at night or going back to hotels. They don't have any place to go. Those are prime candidates for committing crime. I don't give a damn about you saying, everybody with all of this morally upstanding BS that they try to peddle on the people. Like, well, I was poor and, all I did was pick myself up by my bootstraps and I went and I got a job and and that you hear that all the time. That's not, none of these kids can do that when you're 12 and 13 years old and you're not eating, you don't have any clothes and you're not dressed as fly as everybody else is. And other people got money in their pocket and they got iPhones and they got all this stuff around. You're trying to figure out how to do it. And the quickest way you can do it is by going out and stealing a car or carjacking somebody in a car. And I can get $500, $600 in my pocket right now and I can come up. And the parents who are needing help, a lot of times, they'll overlook it because they need it in the household. It's hard to be morally upstanding. Like it's crazy. It's hard to be morally upstanding. It's hard to have the integrity that you need to have. It's hard to have all of this goodness in your heart when you're hungry and you poor. So when you're having to make life decisions, a lot of that stuff goes out the window, and a lot of people don't. And when you haven't had to deal with it, you can't understand what's happening in somebody's life.
That goes back to capitalism, right? I mean, we live in our system is based on capitalism, right?
Yes.
So with that being said, it costs to live. It
Yes.
absolutely costs to live.
Yes.
Everything is going up. Inflation is real.
Yeah.
Everything is up. And in addition to that, we talk about the kids, but we have a group. I'll specifically talk about those from the ages of 40 to 60 who do more flossing and flexing on social media when if they miss one check, they'll be out in those same shelters looking for somewhere to lay just like those
Absolutely.
kids.
Absolutely.
So who is it exactly that's going to be the leader if we're allowing our peers to live in a way and actually applying it? Because and we know it's false
Yeah.
in a lot of cases, not all cases.
Yeah.
We're applauding those who put up a particular facade. We are actually giving kudos to those who are the real criminals. We're talking about what kids do. The numbers actually reflect those above 25.
Absolutely.
It's participating in more violent crime.
Absolutely.
In addition to the other things that are perpetuated that have been absolutely acceptable in our society. So there are those who are visible, who get more likes, who are perpetrating some of these crimes too.
Absolutely.
The crimes that we're not talking about.
Absolutely.
How do we get to any semblance of togetherness, unity, and forward thinking, forward movement in this society where people are following those based on their social media following rather than actual groundwork that they're putting in?
We have to change what young people and what kids think is cool. We have to change the paradigm. We got to change the narrative. They don't see, kids emulate what they see around them. And to a larger degree, even grown folks emulate what's around them.
Yes.
Social media is a powerful tool. So you have grown people who are influenced by what they see on social media every day. Capitalism again, once, you figured out and once, they made it available for you to be able to get this meta check on Facebook. Once they made it available for you to be able to get a check based upon the likes and the shares and the engagements you get, you got grown people crashing out every day on social media, putting their family business out there, saying all types of things, doing God knows what, because this is an easy way for me to be able to make money. But you look at it because of the world that we live in, because capitalism is so rampant, the world that we live in, you got people who are going to work every day and they're living from check to check, and they are one missed check away from being out on the street.
Yes.
This is a way that I can make some extra money. This is a way how I can live. You got people who are doing these things who are trying to live. The cost of living now has gotten so exorbitant that, people are just trying to figure out ways to keep their head above water so they can make it from one check to the next. And that contributes to crime. But you tell these Republicans this, you tell these officials this, you tell these white folks this, and it goes in one ear and it goes out of the other. When people are hungry, when they're poor, when they're impoverished, when, their education is not where the schools are not where it needs to be, the resources are not there where they're at, that is going to breed crime. And people right now can't afford to make it from one check to the next. They can't afford gas. People are having to make life decisions on whether or not I'm going to put gas in my car or I'm going to feed my family tonight. Chad White gets on Twitter and he says, I don't want people using EBT to buy junk food. Well, you got people who are going out there and that EBT does not stretch long enough for them to be able to feed their family.
There's a deflection anyway.
And
I think that most people know that.
Yeah.
There's nothing but another deflection away from what their real end goals are. But I will say that this is a capitalist society. What can we do to help our young people become legitimate capitalists more so and push economic development, financial literacy, and financial growth in our community and link that to the change?
We got to get them young. Again, we have to make financial literacy. We have to make economic development. We have to make entrepreneurship. We have to make that cool.
Right.
We have to start early enough to where this is embedded in these kids' mind. I think it was Frederick Douglass that said it is much easier to raise, children and to repair broken men or something along those lines. And that's kind of where we are. A lot of the grown people are at the point where they're going to be and they're going to do and they're going to say whatever it is they're going to say. We're going to have to concentrate on the babies. We're going to have to try and concentrate on the kids, because when you talk about what's happening in schools now, when you talk about education, when you talk about what's happening at our museums, when you talk about what's happening in this world right now, they're trying to erase all of the vestiges of what black folk have been through. They're trying to erase all of those things from existing. And they're trying to create a generation of black kids that don't know any history and are not aware of history, because if you create a generation of kids that don't know their history, it's much easier for us to indoctrinate them. It's much easier for us to make a generation of sellout ass coon kids.
Water carriers. Sambos.
Yes. It's much easier for us to create a generation of them if they don't know their history. And the more of them that don't know their history, that's the more of them that we can indoctrinate for them to become water carriers at that point. That's why it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we continue to teach them their history so that they know, so they can continue to fight this fight, because the people who have been here doing it for a while, they're not going to be with us forever. So what happens? You know what I'm saying? I'm scared to see what happens when John Lewis and Frank Figures and, you know, the people that are around here. I'm scared to see what happens when these folks are gone. Does the people that we have around here.
Do the Brad Franklins, the Kamikazes, and the Tripps get invited to these parties of resources to be able to connect?
I mean, I'm invited to places to connect. When it comes to resources, I've learned that you got to create your own resources. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that churn, and you got to get that crank, and you got to put that ice in there, and you got to make your own ice cream if you want it.
Building your own table.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I build my own table, and then people that want to come and eat at my table, you can come eat at my table. If you want to invite me to your table, that's cool, but that's one of the reasons why we're having these conversations, so we can take these tables and we can start pulling them together and connecting them. We're going to get in the lunchroom, we're going to get in the cafeteria, we're going to take our tables, and we're going to start pulling them together, and we're going to eat all together. We're going to take our individual tables and put them together, and we're going to figure out how we can all eat from it and how we can all prosper from it. That's the only way that's going to get done, because our enemy is doing it every single solitary day. They are excellent at being on brand and being on message, and we're going to have to get excellent in the same.
So Saturday, September the 20th, 8 a.m.
Yes.
We get a clean slate.
Yes. Well, it won't be a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be the baggage of, the vestiges of old things that are there. It's going to be us unifying again. It's going to be the Avengers assembling for us to take on Thanos. We're going to get in that parking lot 10:30, September 20th. We're going to march to the Capitol. There's going to be a short program at the Capitol. And when we disperse, when we leave there on the next Monday, the following Monday, that's September the 22nd, we're going to start putting the plan in effect. And if you look around in little pockets here and there, you're going to start seeing the plan in effect, because you're going to start seeing black men pop up in these different places doing different things. There's a gubernatorial election that's going to be coming up. You're going to start seeing some black faces popping up over here. We got to make sure that Chad White and Andy Gibson don't get in that governor's mansion, because they are Trump sycophants. We got to make sure that they don't get there. The sycophants. They are
Trump sycophants.
They are do boys. They are lapdogs for Devil Trump. So we got to make sure that they don't get in, the governor's mansion, because if they do, that's going to be, it's not going to be good for the city of Jackson as well. And I think people need to understand that we are the capital city, and so goes us, so goes the rest of the state. And we need somebody that is in that building that is an ally of this city. Those folks are not allies of this city right now, and it's because of the leadership and what leadership looks like.
So Howard, coming to the event, I'm familiar with Kamikaze. How should I come to this event, and what should I be able to absorb through this unity and this solidarity?
As a black man, you need to come and you need to feel the energy of other black men standing up and being leaders in the community. Because again, it's not just about them. It's about us as well. It's about, in totality, it is about us standing up and being accountable and being leaders in our community, and letting everyone, black and white, male and female, whatever denomination you might be, seeing that black men are concerned with what's happening in the city. And we're going to figure out how to put us a very strong voting block together from there, so that we can start being in control of the things that happen. We're kind of watching right now. We're kind of at the mercy of things that happen around us right now. We're going to have to start taking charge again. And I think this happens. I think we've kind of been lulled, and we've kind of been, punched on, and we've kind of been beat on, and a lot of people are tired. and there's a lot of fatigue, and a lot of people are apathetic now, and a lot of people are like, hey, there's nothing that we can do because they're watching what's happening. But there is something that you can do. You can act. This is not the time for us to lay back and chill. I know things look despondent, and I know things look dark right now, but we can fix that. You know, and I think September 20, this is going to be a small. It's not a end all be all. It's not a fix all. It's not something that we, say that, yeah, we won once we finish the march. It's just a start. It's a start and a spark. You got to start somewhere. And why not start here? And why not start with just showing people that we can come together and do this? So come out. Everybody that's listening right now, male and female, come out. And when you leave that Capitol, there's going to be some energy, and there's going to be something on you that's going to want you to leave from there and put in some work. Okay,
so after the event is over with, how do I stay connected to the movement?
We have a Facebook page, the 1,000-Man Movement. That's on Facebook. We do have a Facebook group, the 1,000-Man Movement Facebook group that, black men are joining because there are conversations taking place on that page that are not open to the public. But we have an Instagram page, 1,000-Man Movement, Facebook page, public, there's a 1,000-Man Movement, and those are the areas where you can come and you can kind of get the information on what it is that we're doing. But the other information is going to be done inside the rooms where we need to be having conversations amongst us to handle what we need to handle, because we're not going to let what we're doing get in the hands of other people and other people who wish to do us harm and wish to do our people harm. They're just going to see it. And because white folks like to be in our business all the time anyway, and they like to come and try to stop our joy and then try to stop us from assembling, we're going to let them just be in the dark on this. And we're going to let them just sit back and speculate on what's going to happen.
And these white folks know who they are, Brother Kamikaze.
Whoever that might be hearing this, that might not like it. And the ones that are not on what we own, the white folks that are on what we own, you cool. If you are against what we're doing, if you don't like the fact that we're doing this march, if you don't like us trying to organize, if you don't like us doing any of the stuff that we're doing, then you're not the person or persons that we are talking about at the end of the day.
So you saying that the descendants of John Brown, the abolitionists, are invited?
That's powerful, FT.
It is powerful.
FT, where you get that? Is that a curveball or a fastball?
That is powerful. If you're John Brown,
be there.
You can be there.
Be in the front.
That's it. If you somebody that John Brown has to put hands on, then you don't need it. And that's black or white. Because John Brown had to put his hands on some black people too, because they were trying to protect massa.
We're gonna let's pivot for a few minutes, for a few minutes, man. Community connections conversation. Why are you looking at me like that, Ms. Tripp?
Just paying attention. Okay,
and what's the disclaimer again about our conversation so people don't get it twisted from their perspective and perception? I said something Sunday about the Catholic Church. No reflection of what happened last night.
Right.
And I've noticed that. Why am I calling the man in a robe father to get to the Father? Mm-hmm. That's my perception and my perspective based on my experience.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So someone shared with me that, well, we do get inserts from the Bible in the mislead. I said the Bible. We have to learn how to be more intentional in our listening.
Right.
Yes.
We don't study the Bible. We don't have Bible study.
Yeah,
okay.
Most people don't even study fun.
So when I'm speaking and sharing, say that again.
Most people don't even study phonics and read.
Yeah, they getting a word, and then too many people have gotten a word from somebody who definitely.
So my perspective and my perception is based on my experiences.
Yeah, there's a lot of people toting that Bible, but they're not reading it.
And a lot of people reading it and they're not acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a whole lot going on. So
actually,
I think y'all giving too many people some credit. They not reading their book. Those pages are crisp.
But here's the thing: people got to understand that action is the item that you need that needs to happen. It supersedes everything else. Faith without works is dead.
Unity, solidarity, and action. Email 1000menmove@gmail.com for more information.
1000 men.
1000 men move, and women are included. Children are included.
Yes.
All right, let's kind of pivot a little bit. The Queen is not here tonight, but I got to acknowledge the Queen.
Yes, absolutely.
Kaz and Queen and the Vibe Controllers, Debate Night 4, Grown Folks Talk, Social 21 Bistro, 1625 East County Road.
Yeah.
The live interactive social experience returns October the 4th. Sounds by DJ Twigger. Doors open at 7. For tickets and tables, visit debatenight4.eventbrite.com. Give me a little.
Read the
Give me a
whole
little.
thing.
Did I do okay? Besides messing up, how do I pronounce the name again?
Kaz.
When did it go from Kamikaze to Kaz?
Well, you know, when you say Kamikaze, at the end it's Kazi. So some people call me Kazi, some people call me Kaz, some people call me Kamikaze. It just depends.
Okay. All right.
They just shorten the end of the name.
Okay.
So some people will say Kazi, some people will say Kaz. It just depends.
So what does debate night?
So
for
debate
grown
night,
folks?
debate night is again, it's a live interactive experience. It's a panel of single people, divorced people. My wife and I are going to be the moderators for this one. Usually, Kaki McFly, one of the Vibe controllers, has been the moderator of it, and my wife and I have been on the panel. But my wife and I are going to be moderating this one. But we have grown folks talk. We talk about relationships. We talk about marriage. We talk about dating. We talk about sex. We talk about marriage. We talk about everything that runs the gamut of the love experience. And we have people on the panel that are going to talk about their particular personal experiences. We always have a live audience.
Okay.
And people ask questions.
From the audience?
Yes.
Okay.
People ask questions from the audience. We'll ask questions to the panel. We'll get the conversation going. And, it's always a nice, entertaining, spicy conversation. This time we're going to actually have a relationship expert. Dr. Anthony Davis is going to be there, and he's going to be our on-site expert. He's going to be in the crowd. So he's going to actually be there, and he's going to actually be able to give some of his thoughts and answer some of the questions and kind of respond to some of the comments from the people that are on the panel. It's really cool. You get to come out. We call it debate night because it's kind of a play on date night. So you can come and bring your significant other. You can come with your girls. You can come with your homies. Come out to Social 21, man, and enjoy some drinks and some food. DJ Twiggers is going to be doing the music. But the conversation is what drives this event. It's a really cool conversation. It's kind of for grown folks, and it's something for you get to come out and laugh and have a good time. And you find out that people have been going through some of the same experiences that you have in the dating realm and in the marriage realm, and having been divorced and having infidelity and being ghosted and all the things that you can think of that people go through these days, dating and courting and being married, all those things. We kind of talk about it, and it's a really lively discussion, and y'all should definitely come out and check it out.
And the scope of grown folks in your world, Kamikaze, is what age? What range of age?
About 35 and up.
Okay. 35 and up.
35 and up. 36, 37, 38 and up for me, but, it fluctuates depending on who you talk to.
Okay.
We do some events for grown folks, and it goes 30 and up. Some events we do is like 35 and up. It just depends. But definitely grown and seasoned folks. Definitely.
We'll make sure our perspective and perception.
Definitely not the youngsters in the 20s. Nothing in the 20s at all. 20 to 29. We're definitely not talking to you. These events are not for you. There are events that are there for you. There's a lot of events around here that are for you. Our events are not for you. Our events are catered to a grown.
Brother, you do not sugarcoat
it. I'm just telling you, man. I'm just telling you. You find your niche and you stick with it. We got our demographic and we stick with it. We're not trying to be all things for all people. We're trying to be for the demographic that we have. And the 20-year-olds have plenty of places for them to go. They got plenty of events to go to. When I was in my 20s, I went to them and I did them. I'm not in my 20s anymore. When I was a child, I did, childish things. And when I became an adult, when I became a man, I put away childish things. That's how that goes.
When I was back in the day, you look over and you see the 50 and the 60-year-olds at the 20-year-old party, you're like, damn.
Yeah.
I choose not to be in that circle.
Yeah.
I just can't see me being in there.
Yeah.
Jackson.
I see some of the videos that people put out right now. These young people are laughing at it. I'm like,
yeah, you got to get out of that, man. Like, that's why we trying to make events for people so that you don't have to be the 40-year-old dude, in the daiquiri bar with the 20-year-old.
The 50-year-old dude, 60-year-old dude.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you got some of them dudes that is trying to get them something that's 20.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it in the light.
They trying to kill themselves. Yeah, you need to be in the dark somewhere.
Yeah, be in the dark.
You need to be in a dark corner. You don't need to be out in public doing that, letting people.
With a mask on.
Yes, you do.
All right. We got the Jackson Indie Music Week submission guidelines. March 22nd through the 28th, 2026.
It's coming up next year
Okay.
in March, and submissions.
And this has already been released. Each artist, band, musician, and filmmaker will be required to submit through the application provided on our website. Give us a little insight to that, sir, so people can get ready and get engaged.
So if you are an artist, if you are an independent artist in the nation, go to jacksonindymusic.com. You can submit to be a part of the festival. All of the artists that are on the festival are artists that submit to the festival. If you don't submit, you can't be on the festival. So don't say, I want to be on Jackson Indie Music Week. I want to be on one of the events, and you did not submit. So follow the guidelines, follow the rules. I got a great team that handles the submissions. I got a great team that listens to the music and picks the people. I don't have anything to do with that. I haven't had anything to do with it since year 2, and we're going into year 11.
Congratulations.
Now. So I haven't had anything to do with it since year number 2. So whatever happens when you send your submission in. But I'm going to tell you, you got to be in it to win it, as they say. If you don't submit, then you won't get picked. So don't, every year after it's over with, we always eventually, usually have a person that says, oh, I wanted to be in it. Or, why wasn't I in it? Did you submit? No. Well, that's why you're not in it. So you got to submit. Follow the rules, man. When you see the rules on the page, follow the rules. That's one of the things the artists need to learn how to do. Just follow the simple rules. If you read them, you'll be all right.
Is the city of Jackson intimidated by Kamikaze?
No, I don't think so. Why? Why would they be?
Okay.
Why?
I mean, you speak truth, you speak volume, you speak experience, you speak the facts.
I don't think that they're intimidated.
Okay.
There might be instances where, I don't know, there might be some instances where, I won't be invited in the room because they don't want to hear what I have to say, but that's not just me. There's a lot of people like that around here. So it's not just me at all. I think the city embraces me more so than being intimidated. I felt nothing but embrace from folks for the love that I have for this city and the work that I put in this city and the sacrifices and the things I created in this city. I love this city, and I think people get that from me, and I think they respect it, and I think they love the fact that I defend this city as much as I do.
Powerful.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else, Ms. Tripp?
No, I just want to make sure that everyone who's listening not only follows the page, but invites at least 10 people each. They can
the page.
Yeah,
work the page.
That's
work the work.
Multiply the multipliers now.
Community strong for Jackson, Mississippi.
All day long.
And you're being consistent too, I gotta say.
What you mean by tell me what that means, Kamikaze.
You know what consistent means.
I want you
You know what that means.
I want the people that don't know we know. We know, but what does that mean to a person who don't know?
What consistent means, Howard, they got problems that none of us in this room can help them with.
Your target audience?
That might not be your target audience. You know what I'm saying? They need to be on the phonics page, wherever they teach people how to put the words together and read or whatever the case is. But no, every Thursday, every Sunday, like clockwork, it doesn't matter, rain, sleet, or snow, you are on. And that's what people need to understand. That's how you build your audience. So whether it's 2 people watching, or whether you got 20 people watching, or 200 people watching, every Thursday and Sunday, you own. And that's how you build a brand. That's how you build it. You can't say, oh man, I don't feel like it today, or oh man, there's only 2 people watching, I'm not gonna come in, or oh, it's Thursday and I gotta go do this, and then eventually it falls off. But every Thursday and Sunday, you here, and I can scroll and it's gonna pop up on my page, and I'm gonna see you and
that means a lot
you have in here, and you being consistent with it. So I think that's a good thing, and I think it's gonna just continue to grow. Got a good setup here. Shouts out to Ms. White. You know what I'm saying? Always been holding it down out here, and she has made this available for people to be able to come and use. So I think people need to be able to partake in it. They need to take advantage of it because it's here. It's cameras, it's mics, it's a setup. Everybody want to have a podcast these days. You got a chance to be able to come and do it. We don't have to even do the work. The cameras is here. The mics is here. Come out and use it as a resource.
Wow.
Stop talking about it and stop saying what you want to do and do it. Action items, man. Action is the key. Talk right now in 2025. It ain't worth a sack of peanut shells at this point.
It's not. So unity is in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Solidarity is walking down to the Capitol.
Solidarity is when we get to the Capitol and when we leave. That's going to be the solidarity. The unity is going to be the act of us getting there. And, you know, again, we welcome everybody to come out and to be a part of it. And if marching is not your thing, let me just say that. If
Where
you
did
don't
that
like
come from
marching-
about the marching thing? Is that somebody that knows you
no,
in particular?
no.
Just people throwing that out there.
I've gotten a lot of comments.
They'd be the
There's a
first
lot-
ones out there marching.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of
people
people don't look at marching as effective anymore.
It's because a lot of people don't understand it. First of all, a lot of people just take a piece. It's performative.
Put that microphone so we can
Now-
hear you. Put that
Yeah.
microphone over there. I
Okay,
know it's been a long
so-
day. Go right ahead.
So Kamikaze mentioned something earlier, performative actions that people take. Now, when you look back in history and you have people who will look at a piece of it, they look at the march on Washington. So you have people who will march on a place, but they don't look at the other parts that you said, the planning for the parts that go on immediately after. This was not just simply a moment of we're going to march, sing, we shall overcome and walk away.
Correct.
They had it tied into a strategy. We
Correct.
take a piece of it. We do performative movements. We don't follow up. We don't connect. We turn a finger and blame everybody else, furthering the disconnect. And you want to blame the marching? No, it's not the marching. It is you, our lack of planning, strategizing, and execution.
And follow
you
up.
spoke about all of that with it. So, yeah, marching is not the problem. Also, forgetting is the problem. You talked about people, you know, who want to get past something. What do the Jewish people consistently do? Always remember. So, you don't forget what your ancestors went through. You don't forget what the people before you went through. You remembered it, not for the purpose of solely repeating the exact same efforts for symbolic measures.
Yeah.
We're not looking for symbolism with no sustenance.
Right.
We're looking for actual traction. And if more people do that, then that is where we get some movement going, some real movement.
You can only get movement by actually moving. I tell people all the time, like, you got to put the first foot in front of the other foot, and you got to actually start taking the action, and you got to start walking towards whatever it is that you're doing. And most of the people who, you know, again said, you know, marching doesn't do anything. Marching is a waste of time. I got a lot of that across all.
They wanted your attention. They just wanted your attention.
And I believe I believe they honestly feel like that.
Right.
There's a lot of people
Marching
that feel
alone.
like that.
They forgot
Marching
to
alone.
inject that word.
Yes, and I always come back and say marching alone does not do anything.
Right.
But I can tell you what doesn't work, because a lot of people was like, oh man, black people need to just lay back and fall back now. We need to just sit back and chill. And I was like,
learn a line dance.
nah. This is definitely not the time for black people to sit back and chill. They want us to sit back and chill, and they want us to not do anything. This is absolutely the time that we need to act. And we need to be coming together with a plan, and we need to be putting some stuff together. They want us to lay back. They want us to chill. They want us to, quote unquote, sit this one out, because if we sit this one out, it won't be any more to sit out after this one. So we're going to have to act now. And, you know, as much of a heavy lift as it might be, this is what we're going to do.
Oh, we've been heavy lifting a long time.
We've been heavy lifting
Yeah,
a long
it's
time.
just gotten convenient. We want to pick and choose what we want to lift now. Just get up and do the work. Get up off the couch and do the work.
Right.
Yeah.
You understand we're stronger together. You know, a lot of us are bent, but just don't be broken. Don't capitulate.
Kamikaze, what else can community do to participate besides showing? What else can we
show
do?
up.
Just show up.
Show up.
So that's just so you're just asking us to just show.
It's a clarion call for you to show up and march with us. And when we get to the Capitol, you're going to know what to do from there. I promise you will. You'll feel it. You'll know what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come with your best behavior. Come with an open mind.
Yes.
Come with your spirit. Come and let the ancestors fill your cup.
There you go. There you go.
And stop complaining and stop blaming and shaming.
Yeah. And hopefully now, because it was pretty brisk out there for most of the day today. So maybe
it was
September
nice.
the 20th, maybe by that time it might actually be some fall weather, maybe. I don't know for sure.
Right.
You know, but today was
different.
Brisk.
Yes,
today.
it was nice.
Like, and this is August.
Right.
This is usually the hottest month.
Right.
It scared me a little bit, because I was like, how is it?
Well, you know, the universe does what it wants to when it wants to.
It does, and we don't have any control over it.
Yes, sir.
Climate change is real.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is at the end of the day, man.
I'm gonna have you close us out with a little prayer, not prayer, motivation, some inspiration, something to give us something to look forward to moving into the 20th.
Oh man, I can just say, man, I wish for everyone that is listening to us right now, that is watching us, I pray for peace for you and for yours, whatever that looks like for you, whatever that might be for you, and for Black people as a whole. I pray for peace for us all, and I pray for us to work towards the peace that we deserve as a people. But we're gonna have to fight for it, and we're gonna have to do a little work before we get to it.
Do some work,
and that's just all a part of it. But you know, for everyone, whatever it is in your life right now that you need, I'm praying that you find the peace that you were looking for.
I want to close out on something that I pulled. Let me see if I can get the music up.
I want to let the band get some. Ladies and gentlemen, on guitar. My brother Caleb Armstrong, get your some.
Yeah, if you hadn't had a chance to check that out, go check that out on YouTube. Check out Malco concert that I did in all access. Had an amazing. Actually, I was leaving rehearsal before I came here. That's why I didn't get here till almost like 7.
Okay.
But amazing group of musicians and that Malco all access.
All right. Now bass, ladies and gentlemen, it's the incredible Ben Strange. Get your some bass.
Who else did one over there?
That's Ben Strange there. That
Ben
was Caleb Armstrong. That was
Ben
just on
Strange
Friday.
did one. Ray Kincaid did one. Who else? Willie Clayton did one. Big Yayo did one. So there's a lot of different artists that came
Now on keys, ladies and gentlemen.
Do I have the right to
We
play
got my
this,
boy
sir?
DJ. Keys,
Okay.
give him some.
All right, y'all heard that.
Make sure to get that on the mic.
Yeah, he gave me permission. This is Kamikaze here, so. DJ Demby, huh?
They're not getting the full effect on here.
And you know we got to get a drummer some, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm supposed to load it in.
Miss My Cow, drummer, get your some.
I was supposed to load it in so we could be playing it now, but I had to.
Yeah. Now, if you were showing it on the screen, that would be super back. Yeah. If you was doing that. I love the visual of that. I love the color of it.
That's Maya Childs,
Yes.
the drummer, female drummer.
And you know I got to get a DJ some, the master manipulator sound, DJ Twigger.
Where can they find it at Kamikaze?
On YouTube.
YouTube.
Yep.
I'll be dropping it tonight on the commUNITY Strong for Jackson MS. So you guys be sure to connect with it and see how
Okay.
Kamikaze, you've been in the lab for. Have you been away from the lab, or you just coming back from the lab?
Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now get bug. Now get bug. And let me see it if you're gon' give it up. Come on. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now get bug. Now get bug. And let me see it if you're gon' give it up. Come on. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now get bug. Now get bug. And let me see it if you're gon' give it up. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Now if you heard what I say, then get grub. Get bug. Let's go. Get bug up. Let me see it if you're gon' give it up.
Get a record deal. I'm not trying to put out any records. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just putting out music, and whatever happens, happens. And so far, the music that I've been putting out, you know, things have been happening. I've had people reaching out for me to come and do shows. It's the first time I've ever had people reaching out for me to do shows in 12 years. And I wasn't even expecting it. I was just putting music out. They saw this piece that I put out, and they wanted me to come and perform. So, again, whatever God's will is, I just do it. And whatever happens, happens. And whatever the universe brings to me, it brings to me. And, you know, if people like it and they want to do something with it, cool. But, you know, this time around, I wanted to do some music that was talking about what's happening in the world right now. Nobody is talking about what's happening in Mississippi. Nobody's talking about what's happening in the world right now. There is no really, you know, noted political music that's out there right now that's talking about what our people and what this nation and what our state is going through right now. It's a lot of other stuff, but I've evolved now as an artist and as an MC, and I'm going to talk about what's happening in Mississippi.
And it's a joy watching you evolve, watching you mutate.
Yeah, yeah.
The 1,000 Man Movement presents the 1,000 Man March, Unity, Solidarity, Action, Saturday, September the 20th, 8 a.m., assembling in the parking lot of 440 Jackson, 440 North Mill Street, ending at the Mississippi State Capitol. What time you want us to show up?
Show up at 10:30.
10:30.
And then once we get everybody there, we're going to take off and we're going to march. Bring your signs, bring whatever it is, wear your paraphernalia, wear your T-shirts, whatever it is you got, whatever organization you with, come out and represent. And we're going to march to that Capitol, and then it's going to go from there.
The people want to know what you got on your T-shirt tonight, the black and the white.
This is Ain't No Genius Like Black Mississippi Genius.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Ain't no genius like Black Mississippi Genius.
Ain't it the truth?
Ms. Tripp, anything you want to say to the listening and viewing audience? You done put in a full week this past week. You was here Sunday, you here tonight. You read it all out for us.
You the new co-host?
No, she's a host. Co-host,
Okay.
host.
I know every time.
I don't know. I can't speak for her.
Every time I've come out here now, it's been a different person.
Well, is that good or bad, Kamikaze?
You got to tell me.
We growing them.
Well, that's
we
good.
growing
You
them.
might
Yes,
need
sir.
2 or 3 hosts. I guess.
Yes, sir. We
You know?
growing them. We growing
You
them.
might need to come
True
over here one day and
collaboration.
then put somebody else over there.
That we working on this. I don't know why they intimidated about this over here. This would work here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
They got to come over
It
here.
looks like it, but that's you learn how to work that over there. You can go anywhere.
Yes, sir. That's true.
You
True.
can go anywhere and
True.
do anything. All
And
you
I
gotta
shouldn't
do
have
is
answered
get the
that.
equipment.
Kamikaze put something in front of you. You the host? You the co-host?
Look, am I?
Yeah.
Look, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
You're on the flyer.
Well, I'm here.
You were on the flyer.
You
That's
on the
it.
flyer.
Once you're on the flyer, that's it. So
I didn't know if
the
she's
people
gonna
trying
show up,
see
so
you
I
at
did
that
2
point.
flyers. All right. Community community
I do wanna
connections
encourage
conversations.
everybody to
Go right
follow.
ahead.
I want to encourage everybody to follow
Mm-hmm.
the 1,000 Man March page. Follow the page and invite 10 friends.
That's it.
Invite 10
10 friends.
Okay.
Yes.
Put your marching shoes on, your walking shoes, whatever that looks like for you, and come out and march with us to the Capitol. And I guarantee you're gonna like what you hear. And from there, we're gonna tell you what the next plan is.
I'm looking
after that.
forward to the follow through.
Yeah, the follow
Yeah.
through is going to be the important
That's
thing.
what I wanna
There
eat
is
on.
follow through.
Yeah.
We've already worked on the follow through, so don't think when this
I
is
want to
over
commend you all.
that you're going to hit here. Later on, you're going to be like, oh, well, they said they was finna do and they just had to march. Nah, you're going to see at some point what the plan
Right.
is in full effect. 'cause
Keep your
you're
ego
going
in
to
your
be
back.
seeing-
Keep your ego out the way.
Yeah,
Keep your ego.
out.
We call
The
it
work- the
edging
work is-
God
the
out.
work is
Keep your
going to
ego
be
out the way.
The most important thing, and I think for us, the stealth of it is what's going to be the best thing for us. We've got to learn now to start circling the wagons and start putting these plans and having these conversations in-house. We have too many of our conversations, too many of our beefs, too many of our plans we give to the public, and we have these conversations in front of other people.
Mm.
We have these conversations in front of company. Well, not even company. We have our conversations in front of people that should not
Faces.
be
Faces.
in our homes.
Right.
That's not company, and we're having conversations in front of random folks
Wow.
that dilute the strength of what it is that we're doing. So we're gonna stop having those conversations in public. We're gonna have them where they need to happen, and that's in a room just like this. And they just gonna have to see the work. When our grandfathers and our great grandfathers got together and they assembled and they got in those churches and they got in those fellowship halls. And
Under
they
those
got
trees,
in all those
those
rooms, and they
fields.
got in those barns, and they got in all those places, and they had those meetings. Those meetings were in house.
Mm.
Those meetings took place with just them in that room, and then you saw the fruits of the labor. You saw the fruits of those plans
That's gonna be nice.
being put out there.
That's
to
gonna
the
be
world.
nice.
So that's what we're gonna go back to. I think now, because of social media, I think everybody feels like everything needs to be put online. Everybody needs to see everything, and that's not what
not how we
needs to happen.
move.
We need to get on message, just like our enemy is on message. We need to get on message and on brand on our end too.
Mm. Anything you want to sign off on, Ms. Tripp? We want to thank Kamikaze, Brad Franklin, for coming out tonight and sharing his energy and his
Thank
vibration,
y'all
his
for having me, man. I
experiences.
appreciate it. Thank y'all
his
for having me.
perspective and his
Anytime you need me to
perception.
come out here, man, please.
Oh man,
please
you're
do
gonna make
so.
me cry.
Keep doing what you're doing.
You're gonna make
Come
me
on,
cry.
man.
I love it.
Come
I
on,
love
cut
you,
it out.
brother. I love you.
Cut it out.
All right, anything you want to say to the people, Ms. Tripp? Ms. Tripp, give them that disclaimer one more time. You know, people get their perceptions and perspectives. They don't listen intently, so they go out and twist the conversation as opposed to absorbing, ingesting, and digesting. This won't make you throw up.
Right.
It'll make you love yourself.
You know, I did make a comment earlier that not everyone can read, and I don't want to. I want anyone to think that I'm taking a shot at people that
Right.
have their issue. You know, a lot of our forefathers didn't have the right to learn how to
Oh,
read.
you powerful.
Yeah. But it's 2025, and Hooked on Phonics is online just like Facebook, and you can learn
Stand
today.
on it. Stand on it.
Amen.
'Cause
All right.
you need to learn how to read.
Hey, you're right.
Yes.
We're going to close out with Brother Franklin giving you a little insight about the Million Man March.
Yes.
September 20th, 10:30, 440 North Mill Street. Be there. We're marching to the Capitol. It's a 1,000-man movement, 1,000-man march. This is just the first shot, the first salvo. This is not the end all be all. It's not just a march. It's a movement after the march. But we're going to show some solidarity and some unity that day. We're going to show you that we can get a lot of black folks together and we can march peacefully and we can say our piece and we can move together, you know, in silence after that.
Hey, 601. Unity, love, and peace. Get peace. Love. Put the unity together. Hey, everybody. Hey, we got something to say. Listen. Hey, we got something to say.